Do not take steroids if your body fat is high. But is that the case with all people? Are you one of those guys that could use them for fast results and get away with it? You've had your hands in the biscuit tin and now you're taller laying down than you are standing up. We need to get you lean and mean. It's very simple. Do your cardio, calorie deficit, and hit the Captain America serum. Boom, you're shredded. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. Let's get down to it. Overall, the more blubber you have, the more testosterone that you inject will be converted into estrogen. So potentially, high blood pressure, gyno, water retention, acne, all that could be very pronounced very early on. So the idea is to do a dry cycle. I would suggest low testosterone with Masteron, which will manage the aromatizable testosterone, which is going to be the problem if you're above 20% body fat. Or you can do testosterone on its own with some aromatin. When people hear adding testosterone is going to convert to estrogen and they're pretty fat, they consider avoiding testosterone altogether. Let me explain. Anabolic compounds build muscle. Androgenic compounds give you strength, aggression, sex drive, and help you store glycogen in your muscles. Taking Anavar, which is mostly anabolic on its own without any testosterone, the issue then becomes too many anabolics, and that's going to water down the androgens that are inside your body, or the lack of them. Therefore, a Primo, Anavar, Winstrol cycle is going to have your body looking hard. However, you will not be hard in the bedroom. Testosterone is required for anyone that's doing a cutting phase at any level of body fat, really, because it ties into your sense of well-being. Which steroids are for cutting? Generally, the longer esters are better for muscle gaining phases and the shorter esters are used in cutting phases. However, I've said it 1,000,000 times. They build muscle. They don't burn fat. And having more muscle on your body is going to rip through calories at rest. You're going to have a higher metabolism. So you can eat more all year round and not get fat. And then when you go to cut, it's going to be far easier because you're going to be on more calories to start with. Some drugs, when you are lean, make your body look harder and more shredded than it actually is. They don't bring too much water retention compared to other steroids. Anavar is an excellent example of this. It's a hardening agent. You're going to look more shredded because you would have burnt the fat off using the diet, the cardio, whatever fat burners you're on. Then at the end, the Anavar comes in, you look awesome. It amuses me that some guys start with Anavar and test. Don't do this. Massive rookie mistake. Calories do make the difference, whether you're cutting or you're bulking. It's actually got very little to do with the drugs you're on. Eating a calorie deficit, add the gear, it's a cutting cycle. Eating a calorie surplus, add the gear, it's a muscle building cycle. Pick the cycle and the drugs based on your body. Some drugs are very harsh on your body and they'll just tear you up from the inside. So now we know this, let's save the higher dosages and the harsher compounds and the lower carbs for the end of the cutting phase, not at the start. If you get blood work frequently and you know how to manipulate the numbers, this is going to be a very comfortable cycle on your body. Now, before I say this cycle, I'm going to put this in code because I don't want everyone knowing it. Only the people that know their stuff are going to know what I'm talking about. Testo Breast is used for the cycle base. Primo Brock is something that's very easy for your body to adapt to and is going to manage those estrogen levels. Masto Rice comes in for those details, and then you're going to blast with some Anavar at the end. If you're noticing some humming in the background, we've got a lot of boats going round. That's what happens when you live next to the marina. Cycle length now. I suggest to run your cycle longer, 28 weeks, with a 16 to 20 week pre-blast moving into a blast. Then drop things down into a TRT dose. The key to all of this is to stay healthy in that pre-blast. Guys often want to speed things up if they've been fat for a while. They jump in with multiple compounds, too high dosages, side effects come on and it's game over. And they finish their cycle at about week 6, while the guy that has planned it correctly does the cycle for 6 months, is healthy at the end and has lost all the body fat and looks incredible. It's extremely hard to get lean and have quality muscle if you're not subscribed to this channel. Also, If you're ill all the time, guys often adjust their calories to a deficit, set their protein, and think they're made. But they don't realize when they're in a deficit, they're going to be deficient of essential micronutrients. They're very much needed so you can maintain optimal physiological functions like your metabolism. So knowing the supplements and connecting them up to the gear that you're on is going to be essential for your cutting cycle. I've already done a full video on this. You can check that out later. If you look like a jelly bean when you're standing in the mirror, it means you are unhealthy. So let's look into that before you start your cycle. Let's start with these basic biomarkers on the screen now, but understand they do get more specific based on the individual. I'll be honest, I thought blood work years ago was pointless. However, now when I get my blood work in and I see some skewed biomarkers, I'm very motivated to fix them and get shredded at the same time. You can get results and get healthier if you do it right, and it all starts with getting blood work. Are you clued up on estrogen control, metabolic adaptation, sodium intake, cholesterol management, the different compounds with their ratios and the dosages to take? Because remember, you're starting this cycle off already at a disadvantage of being overweight, which is unhealthy. But then again, I get it. Everyone has to start somewhere, and if you've been going round in circles and it's not working, maybe it's time to grab that Hulk juice. If you're thinking you might need help and guidance on your cycle so you can go from Fat Thor to Jack Thor, contact me in the description box below. There's a link. Hit that link and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The next video coming up is crucial for your success in your cycle because it's about high estrogen levels. You neglect this and don't get all this information that's coming up in the next video, things could go very, very wrong very early on in your next cycle. We don't want that to happen. See you in 2 moments, brother. I'm out.